Welcome back to the Barca Breakdown. 4-0 victory at the Bernabeu. My name is Adam. I'm here with the U's.
What's up, guys? What an spectacular performance by Barcelona. Yes, charge it up, boys.
Just a godsend, man. I mean, can you be more hyped up after getting past Galatasaray, going to the quarterfinals of the Europa League, and then we just come out with the most dominating performance in a long time. It's been 3 years, I believe, since we beat them. We all talk about Koeman's woes against Real Madrid and Atletico. We all know the Supercopa, Xavi's first Clasico in charge. We come out of there with the loss. And then we come into this game with all of the hype, right? And I thought it might be too much for this young team because we've been talking so much about how we need to temper expectations, and this Real Madrid team just came out and beat a PSG team with Messi, Mbappe, and Neymar, came back, right, scored a hat trick. But you hear the rumors Benzema's not fit to start. You know, Dest, unfortunately, still out for about 3 weeks after that injury against Galatasaray. And so you look at that starting lineup, and I don't know. I believed in the team, and I knew Xavi had just phenomenally changed everything. But can you imagine that we just won 4-0? And the craziest part about this game is I'm upset we didn't score 5, 6, or 7 because we had those chances.
Easily hat trick that could have come from Aubamayeng.
Aubamayeng, yeah, he had 2 goals and an assist. He could have had 4 goals, without a doubt. And, I mean, it's just everywhere around the park we played these guys like they were a fiddle. Right, David Alaba, a player who I saw Real Madrid get this summer. I was really jealous because I thought he would be so good. Just not great at all. Araujo coming in at that right back spot where he hasn't been super good. His speed has been an issue a little bit. Check his pocket. Because Vinny Junior is in there. That little rat, man. When he dove and tried to get mad at Ter Stegen and PK was hugging him.
Loved it.
Oh, my God. Just inject all of this into our veins. Just the way Xavi is yelling at the team for losing a ball when we come up, when we're already 4 goals up. I mean, it really did look like this Real Madrid team just had no interest in playing, which was very odd. I mean, the first 10 minutes or so, they gave us a little bit of trouble, but it just seemed so easy.
We shut them down, right? We played around them the whole time. Our passes were impeccable. Frenkie finding so many open spots on the pitch.
Whether through passes or runs himself, right? I mean, Xavi has really unlocked Frenkie. Pedri, again, just some of those wonderful moments that just remind you he is going to be the golden boy of a generation if he stays healthy, God pray. Ousmane Dembele, I mean, I know there's a lot of Dembele haters out there who think he's done wrong, but my word, those 2 assists, right? The first cross to Aubamayeng and then the corner for Araujo to get a header. I mean, just overall, Dembele continues to impress. Aubamayeng, right, has now scored, I think, like 10 goals for Barca, 2 goals in his first El Clasico. Just an amazing all-around performance. Ferran Torres missed a pretty big opportunity at that second half, but then came back like 2 minutes later and scored. There's not a player on the team you could think was bad, right? No. Eric Garcia, who is often not our favorite player, and we question sometimes his distribution, whether or not it outweighs his defensive liabilities. I mean, listen, Real Madrid without Benzema, they didn't have that much pressure up front, and so, Eric Garcia did a totally suitable job in defense, even creating some crucial tackles. But then his passing, he had a few passes throughout this game where I was like, okay, I'm starting to kind of believe in and buy into this Eric Garcia hype. PK, just a leader out there. Jordi Alba looked good. Amazing.
There was no
news.
Complaints.
No,
it was wonderful.
Why don't you break down the starting lineup and let's get into some of it?
Okay, so of course we had Ter Stegen in the goal. Then we had the right back Araujo in for Dest, Alba, PK, and of course Eric Garcia, as you just mentioned. And in the midfield we had Busquets, Frenkie, Pedri. Wonderful, wonderful midfield from them. And in the front we had Dembele starting over Traore. Ferran Torres on the left wing, and in the center, Aubamayeng.
And you look at that lineup, and I loved it, right? You get that classic front three of, Dembele, Aubameyang, and Torres. And Aubameyang and Torres have just been really on fire lately, even though Ferran Torres, like we mentioned, missed a few opportunities he should have put away. He's creating out there, and he's providing us width. He's always touching that touch line. And then, the classic, again, midfield, Pedri, Busquets, Frenkie De Jong, just playing their minds out, including Busquets, who's had just a very good season so far under Xavi. And then the backline, like you said, really the big choice was Araujo at that right back spot, but without Dest and with Dani Alves at 38, and we saw him be exposed a little bit in the last few weeks. Great lineup.
Yeah, I think Xavi really made some great decisions. Having, like I said before, Dani Alves should not be playing against Real Madrid. They're just too fast.
Vinicius.
And it just wouldn't have been a good fit. And Araujo just did spectacular for the position that he never plays. And even though we saw him in Galatasaray come in for Dest when he got injured, and he didn't look too particularly good, he really showed up in today's game. And I was really excited that he was just bodying people, getting on the ball, stopping
dribbling
Vinicius,
sometime far up on the field, which was really impressive. And then I think the other big choice, right, when you look at it, is we chose Traore to be on the bench and Dembele to start. And again, it paid dividends. And I think, what I said in last week's video is that if a team is going to keep it open, Traore is better. If they park the bus, Dembele is better. Real Madrid kind of did both this game, right? And Dembele was clearly the good choice.
Yeah, I think he took Nacho on that right side on that one-on-one for that cross for Aubamayeng and just beautifully outpaced him. Just beautiful placement of the ball. Same with the corner, right? Both positions. He almost had an opportunity to score, I believe, at one point with that weird foul.
Yeah.
But overall, just great performance from him.
And you know what's so interesting about seeing Dembele be so great at providing in this Barca is that finally with Aubamayeng in particular, we have a center forward who can score the goal with his head, right? Even though, Luis Suarez was okay at it, Antoine Griezmann okay at it, Aubameyang's like a step above.
Sure.
And he's really good at making those runs to find the crosses and put the ball in. And so it's just become such a great duo. And they played together at Dortmund. So they have that history of knowing each other and knowing how to score. And when you think of Dembele's peak, it was probably the year before we got him from Dortmund, and that's because he was balling out there with Aubamayeng and looking so great. And so Aubamayeng, one of the best winter transfers, maybe the best we've ever received. Right?
I mean, also consider the fact on that fourth goal when Ferran Torres passed it over to Aubamayeng, both onside, and he scored that right over the top over Courtois. That's in a situation where I feel like other players would just, miss it. But in this case, he went in, he scored it, and it's was in our favor,
Got
right?
the dragon
VAR
ball.
saved us. Yeah, exactly.
What I love, too, is, we come out in the second half, and Real Madrid switched to this back three, which Carlo Ancelloti he's got no idea what he's doing. That team just looked in shambles today.
Sure.
Really awful strategy on their end. Honestly, I feel bad about criticizing him, even though he deserves it, because the players themselves didn't seem that into it, right? Casemiro, who I think of so often as like a bull who's ready to run through anything, especially when it comes against Real Barca. When I think of Luka Modric, Toni Kroos, I mean, really just did not put out the leadership and the level of play you expect from that midfield, and just got dominated by Frenkie De Jong and Pedri and Busquets. So, winning that midfield battle is a huge testament, right? Because Casemiro, Modric, Kroos, that's a midfield that's won, 4 Champions League, that's won a few La Ligas, like one of the best midfields ever, right? Trio, as much as I hate to give them credit. And for, our midfield to come out and just dominate them was so beautiful to see. But back to my point. At the second half, they come out with that back three decision, and then Ferran Torres gets a beautiful one-on-one against Courtois and doesn't even touch the goal, not even saved. And 2 minutes later, Aubamayeng, who has an opportunity to take a shot, right, has already a goal, feels confident. The fact that he passes it to Ferran Torres and gives him the opportunity to shoot that shot just shows that Xavi has really created that selflessness in this team and the trust in each other to put the ball where it needs to be, no matter how someone has done the second before. And to see that confidence from Aubameyang and Torres just really, really made me feel good.
I mean, to your point, though, look how many goals we've been scoring over all these last games. We've averaged over 3 goals so many times now. And to do it against like the midfield you were just talking about is just spectacular and overwhelmingly happy, right? We've been in such a awful position at the beginning of the season. Xavi comes in. It was still kind of rough. And now we're really polishing everything.
La Liga, we're still 12 points back.
I know.
So I'm not going to get too excited here. But, I mean, some of these losses right before an international break when it's hard to get up to speed, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens here. I mean, I feel supremely confident we're going to finish number 2 in La Liga. And like you said, I mean, had we had Xavi the whole season and we had the winter signing somehow in the summer, would have been a whole different ballgame. But just love to see the team come out and look so good. You have Nico and Gavi come on as subs and
fire.
A little bit too aggressive. Okay, they need to calm down with some of these fouls, and how they're almost getting yellow cards every other second.
But it's the passion that we kind of at one point in that second half, right? We kind of like
we
down.
lost a little bit, and you're right. Yeah. They did come in, they did look really good, and to have those young players come in and experience what a real Clasico where we dominate is about is really good, and I think it does a lot for the future. And so, Only downside here, right, is that we have the international break coming up. So I think we have about 2 weeks off. We just hope the players and the team kind of stay in that ready mindset. I'm sure not all of them are going to go, and I know Xavi's not going to have some lax 2 weeks where like the players who aren't in international break can just do whatever. So I'm hoping to see Xavi continue, because there was a comment. I think Ian Dark was the ESPN FC commentator for the game, and he was like, at some point in the second half, he was like, wow, this Barca team looked way more fit and ready for this game than the Real Madrid side. And that's one of the things we lamented so much for the last 4 years about how, one, our physio team wasn't good at recovering, and two, something in training wasn't good enough because the players were getting so many muscle injuries. And like, to see everyone look so fit and happy and just ready for these games, it's a godsend. So what's your last thoughts before we let them off? Please smash that subscribe button.
My last thought, you guys, celebrate with us and smash that subscribe button, because this is
Let's go.
Just so happy.
4-0 at the Bernabeu. Thank you guys so much. Peace out.
Thanks, guys.